Welcome to Table 20, a podcast by Tropico Collective, where we explore what it means to be human through food, hospitality, and creativity. I am Gustavo Alvarez, your host and table talk curator. Our conversation today is with my esteemed colleague Jean-Christoph Le Bian, commonly known as JC. JC and I have been working together for the past year, and from early on, I admired and related to his passion and drive when it comes to imagining, cooking, and eating food. Born in Brittany, France, from a farmer's family, food has always played a pivotal role in his life. Our conversation today flows from his early days harvesting vegetables with mom and dad to his formal and rigorous training in culinary school and gastronomic restaurants, and everything in between. In addition, we delve into his desire to leave France and explore other cultures, flavors, and cuisines. This journey eventually led him to settle in Australia, and in the process, reshaped his vision of the world and himself. His work ethic, desire to learn, and appreciation for craft are a reminder that with curiosity and the right approach, challenging situations are the quintessential opportunities to improve oneself. Please take a seat and enjoy. So, I know a few things about you. We've known each other before. This is not the first time we met. So, we work together.
Yes.
Yes, and I've learned a few things. So, I want to start from the beginning. I researched a little bit from your area, which I believe you are from Tech, right?
Yes,
France.
correct.
Yes, which is Brittany.
Totally.
Which is the northern side of France.
Yes.
And I just wanted to guide us a little bit of what it's like to be from Tech, what it was like to growing up there.
Okay.
I heard that's a little bit of an outdoor place. People like to go out, explore the sea, explore the
totally. So my parents are farmers. My grandparents are farmers. So I'm from like countrysides. I've been raised like working around, going all around the field, running around, having some quiet times, not like a busy life like in a city. Not a very good weather like in Australia, more like fresh, a bit more cold, but we have the sea as well, so a lot of good seafood, if I would say, for the food. And then, growing up's been good. Got two brothers.
Are you guys a big going out family? Like, do you go out a lot, like into hiking and going into the ocean, this kind of thing?
To be very honest, not much, because my parents are very busy working.
Okay.
So it was more like spending a lot of time around the house, because my parents have like a big farm. You just make fun around, like you play in the field, you go in the woods, you just do stuff like this, or you go to the beach in summer. So for this was really good. We had everything around our house. So that was our playground and our activities, if I can say.
Oh yeah, that's
it was
that
really
is
nice.
And when you were growing up like that, I assume in a farm, food is a big part of growing up in a farm, right?
It is. It was very stressful for my parents, because obviously this job is very hard. It requires a lot of a lot of investment and time to do a proper job. So my parents were doing mostly vegetables, like cauliflowers, artichokes, some cereals as well, corns. And so for my father, it means a lot to bring the biggest quality he can, to have the perfect vegetables. So this was very interesting to see the whole process, from planting to recolting and then to packing to selling. So this was very good for me. From the moment I'm born, I know where my food comes from. My parents try to cook as much as they can, even though it's very busy. Sometimes it's a bit like simple food.
Yes.
But you have good food, and it's not like full of bad stuff like you can find in a fast food or stuff like this. So yeah,
ingredients make a big difference on the dishes, right? I think that we
totally
can agree on. But when you say simple food, what kind of things? I researched a little bit about the food in Brittany, and I saw a lot of crepes, and I saw a lot of butter, as you said, a lot of veggies, seafood.
Totally.
A few things here and there, and so tell me a little bit about that.
So crepes is like typical dish from Brittany. So it's just like a pancake for people who don't know what crepes is, but it's just very thin. And butter, it's
It's life.
the most important ingredient in Brittany, like especially like salted butter. We don't have, I mean, we do have unsalted butter. We don't really use it.
You don't use it.
Is with crepes you can do anything you want. It's like in Mexico with tacos, you can put whatever you want inside, or like for Italian with pizza, you put whatever you want on top, except pineapples. But for French people, like in Brittany, when you have crepes, you can have sweet crepes or savory one with like ham on it, cheese, and you just build the one you want. So yeah, my mom, like once a month she will cook crepes. She will make like maybe 50 of those, spend 2 hours in the kitchen, and then you just have a pile of crepes in the middle of the tables, and you have all the toppings, and you make your own crepe. So that was huge, and it's very cheap too. You don't need a lot of money to make crepes. So I think that's why this is very popular in Brittany.
Yeah, to feed a family, it's easy on crepes. Yeah, that's.
Yeah, when you're not too sure what to do, you just make crepes. You check what you have in your fridge, and then you can have a dinner. That's it. Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
That was nice.
What about for special occasions? Like what do you guys cook for that?
So special occasion, I will say like typical food, like you will roast meat, let's say like roast chicken, or you will have some beef brisket, something like this, just roasted in the oven. And then yeah, same, we always have like potatoes, so either like mashed potatoes or roast potatoes, and we will always have some veggies and salad on the side. It's not very complicated food, but we try to get the best quality we can. And same, so my parents being farmer, they know farmers from everywhere around, and so we buy the beef from one farmer, and then sometimes we even do exchanges. So we will give them vegetables, they will give us some meat, etc. And so it's, you know where the beef come from, you know where your veggies come from, and it's just nice food. That's it.
Yeah, and it's a little bit generational, right? Because you told me that your grandparents are farmers as well, so I assume that all the farmers around, their grandparents were farmers as well, and it just goes like they know each other from before.
Yeah, most of them it's like this. So where I'm from, it was my great-grandfather who just bought the farm and then started everything, and then my grandfather and his brother just take the farm after him, and it's just like from generation to generation, and it's the same all around. Now you do have you have less and less kids of a farmer that are taking back the farm, because it's very difficult, and to make money it's big job, to be honest.
Yes.
But yeah, we all know each other around. So basically, my father is friend with the farmers, so I will be friend with their kids automatically. Because I will spend time with them. Sometimes you do parties with everyone, and so yeah, you just all like a big family.
All right.
So yeah.
Now, since your parents were farmers and they're selling the produce, did they have relationships with restaurants and businesses around, or it's more like wholesale, they go to like a market or something like this?
So they have like a association. So my grandfather before was going to the market just to sell his vegetables, and then during his career someone created an association with all farmers. So it's called Prince of Brittany, and basically whatever you're going to record, you will send it to this company, and then this company is gonna do all the logistic, and then it's gonna export everywhere in France, and now that we have Europe, everywhere in Europe too. So all that my father has to do now is get the vegetables and then deliver them to this company, and then the company will do everything else. And then whatever they sell, they get him the money.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know if that makes sense like this.
No, it does make sense. And were you very involved in this when you were growing up, or how was your introduction to food that you started to say, I like this, I think this is important?
To be honest, it didn't start like this at all. So for me, it's like growing up. When I was young, my parents would not leave us at home.
Yeah.
So from the moment I was like 5 or 6 years old, maybe, I used to go to the field with them. I would just sit in a tractor while my parents work outside, or sometimes I would just help them to carry the cauliflower, just to put them in a truck, and just to do little stuff like this and spend the whole day there. So yeah, my whole childhood was around the field. And then growing up, I didn't really know what to do with my life. And to be honest, I got bored of being around the farm because it is nice, it's good quality, but at the same time, you see all your friends going around, playing, seeing each other, and you're just staying in a farm and you're like, oh my God, I wish I was with my friend as well, having fun, you know? And so I made a deal with my father. He said to me, he said, look, if you don't want to be in a field, that's fine, but you need to find a job on a site because you need to make some money. So I was like 15, 16 years old.
Yeah.
And so he had one of his friends that owned a seafood restaurant in my hometown.
Okay.
And then he introduced me to him, and I worked for him for like one weekend. And that's where like I just discovered that it was so nice. Like I just loved it. I was more like a kitchen hand, washing dishes. And as soon as I finished the dishes, I was just next to the head chef, and he would just tell me like, all right, you peel those potatoes, get me some seafood, and I would just assist him. Not cooking, no nothing, just helping him with a little prep, simple jobs, and that's where I had the click. Like, start at 10 o'clock in the morning, you push until 11:30, and then you have the service. And for me, the service is the most exciting part. When the service starts, customers come in, you get a docket, and then you do the best you can to present the food as best as possible, and you send it to the customers. And that's where I would say my passion started, just through work, just discovering what it was, more than being at home and cooking.
And then you decided to study on it, or?
So I worked with him for a couple of weekends, and then when it came to summer, I worked for him for 2 months. And during these 2 months, I was working like full time, so five days a week. And at the end of the summer, I went back to the last year of my middle school.
Okay.
I think it's middle school.
How old were you by then?
I was 15, almost 16 years old. And is that middle school or high school? I think it's middle school.
I think about to go into high school. No? Because high school you usually finish it around 18. I think so.
Okay.
At least in Mexico.
Oh yeah, so then it was middle school, and during that last year, I had to decide what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So in France, you can go to a general school where you study everything like everyone. You go like for science, math, or you can go to a professional school. So I decided to go to a hospitality school. And so this school they have like 3 restaurants in it, they have like a few hotel rooms, and it's all about hospitality.
Was this in Carantec?
No, so that was it's called Quimper, it's in the south of Brittany, so it was like 2 hours away from my home. So I was living in a school during the week, and then
coming back on the weekend.
Yeah, that's it, yeah. And then just studying there all week. And it was very, very nice. Like, I'm not sure if they have this here in Australia, but so what I did was a technologic hospitality study. So it's 3 years, and then you learn everything about service, to be a waiter, to make cocktails, to make coffee, everything related to the wine and cheese. You do cooking, so you learn all the basics, how to use a knife, how to cook simple dishes, everything about hygiene. And then you work as well you study everything about like a hotel. So receptionist, how to clean a room. Exactly. And everything that you do in school is oriented to hospitality. So when we were doing accounting, it's related to hotel. Like the food cost, staff cost, everything. For science, it's all about hygiene, the bacteria, virus, how long you need to cook ingredient to destroy the bacteria. So it was all on food and hospitality. We didn't have like physics or we didn't have history anymore. We didn't have geography. We had 1 year of geography.
It was like a specialty just in hospitality.
Yeah, exactly. Everything based on hospitality. And this has it just made me.
And it was not just culinary, from what you're telling me. It's like
No.
everything.
Everything. So based on this, when you get your big graduation, so the
Yeah.
national diploma, you can be a chef, a receptionist, a waiter, a sommelier, or if you want, you can go back to medicine school. If you
Study something
yes,
else. Yeah.
it's you still learn, you still have the basic for everything.
So how old when you are when you finish this?
I was so I was 18. 18, nearly 19 years old. And then I decided to do 2 more years.
In the same school?
Yeah, same school. So I did higher national diploma. And this was more oriented, so I was really good in accounting.
Okay.
So my teacher told me
And then what happened now?
yeah, no, 100% I guess I just had a bit too much love to parties. That's why it became difficult.
Don't we all, huh?
Yes, that's it. No, like it was all accounting, so you go really deep in the numbers of how to open a restaurant or a hotel, and then how to do the. I don't have the vocabulary for this in English, but you know, at the end of the year, sales.
Yeah, like the end of the year report or something
Yes.
like this. Yeah.
So all the accounting, and yeah, I've done 2 years of this and a little bit of. It was a bit more like managing and for events.
Okay.
So let's say you're a hotel manager and you have someone want to come do a party for 200 people. Yes. You need to offer them a specific menu, a package for hotel room. And it was more oriented in this. But you still have cooking and you still have a bit of service and same reception. And during those years, I had to do some work placements. So you spend like 4 to 6 months in a hotel.
So where did you do it?
So same, done it in Brittany every time. So my first work placement was 2 weeks I've done in kitchen, in a restaurant like 20 minutes away from my house. It was really nice. I love the atmosphere in the kitchen. The sous chef always cracking jokes. Like on my first day, I had to throw water in the middle of the service to clean the kitchen. Yeah. And then my head chef just looked at me and was like, "What are you doing? It's middle of the service." So it was really nice. Like I really felt like being part of a family. That's what I love too. And my second work placement, I was a waiter, so more like a bistro type. So I would say I was just a runner, where you just send the dishes. You don't really take orders. You serve the drinks. You cut the bread, whatever, and then you wash the glasses, everything in the back. And towards the end of my work placement, I started to take some orders. So this was nice too. And my last work placement was 5 months. So I was 3 months doing accounting for a big hotel, so like 4-star hotel, and they had like 2 restaurants and Talasso. And then I did 3 months as well as a receptionist. Okay. And I was also like, I don't know, it was on a little island in the south of Brittany, so there's no way for the customers to come to the hotel apart from taking a boat. So we will drive the car to pick the customers at the boat, bring them to the hotel, do the welcoming and check in with them, bring them to the room. So same, you just show the hotel, everything. Yes. And then that was it, do everything on a computer, answer the phone.
All right, so you've done a little bit of everything in hospitality.
Yes.
And you tried different things.
Yes.
And then how did you came back to the kitchen, to the...
So I went through many emotions. When I started first hospitality, I love kitchen because that's where I started everything. But then through my studies, I started to get not bored, but I was thinking it's a lot. It's a lot about cooking. I don't know if I'm made for this. And then I started to love being a waiter. Like you learn everything like high standard, like to work in a gastronomic restaurant. Yeah. So we were cutting the chicken in front of the customers. We were doing some flame pineapples with caramel.
Crêpes Suzette and this kind of thing.
Exactly. Yeah. So you do everything in front of the customers, you put on a plate, and then you serve them. Yes. And I love this. I found this very elegant. And as I started to work during my work placement as a waiter, there's one time where I I made a mistake. I poured some red wine on a customer.
Oh no.
And I've never felt that ashamed in my whole life. Like I was just thinking, like, what have I done? Like I just ruined his whole
My
clothes.
life's over.
Yes, and then I was just in the back of the restaurant, just thinking, like, I don't want to go back out there. What a shame. And I just apologized. That customer was the best ever. He just like, don't you worry. It does my work clothes. It doesn't matter. But that day, I was just thinking, I don't think I'm made for being a waiter.
Okay.
I can be a bit shy, and some customers can be very difficult. And for me, it's very hard to deal with your emotion in front of the customers and to maybe stay professional. When in the back of the kitchen, if you swear a little bit, it's okay.
It's all right, yeah,
it's
yeah.
not gonna be a big problem. So yeah, that's how then I swift back to kitchen. I was thinking.
Is this after you finish the second diploma?
Oh,
or?
sorry. So all of this happened during my studies. So I studied for those 5 years, and then every time I had a holiday, I would be working. Like my parents had this very important value for them is you do not stay home doing nothing.
Yeah, you're productive.
You need to work, you need to learn. If you're not working or learning, do your homework at home, whatever.
Yes.
And once all of this is done, then yes, you can enjoy, have fun.
Okay.
So it was,
That's good.
I would say, a bit strict, but for this kind of job, it was very necessary for me. So yeah, like that was from my 16 years old till 19.
Just
Just working and studying. That's it. Having a bit of fun with my friend as well. I of course
you
I
still
had
had a
some
life
day
and
off,
everything,
you
yeah?
know. But yeah, it was a lot of work. So that's it. That's what it made me today.
So then you went back to the kitchen
Yeah.
in France.
So yeah, I was still doing. That was all during my studies.
And then you finished the studies, and then what happened then?
So when I finished my higher national diploma, I tried to get into a license, which is like a, in French we call it like a study plus 3. It's like the third year after your national diploma.
Is it like university, something similar?
I wouldn't say like university, but close to a master. Basically in France, you do higher national diploma, that's 2 years.
Yeah.
Then you can do a license. And then once you get the license, you can do a master. And the master is 2 more years. That's the way it's done for studies. Anyway, I've never got an answer from any school for license.
Okay.
Because I was partying a bit too much. So my results in school were going down.
Yes.
I'm this kind of person that is not very good with books.
Yeah,
But I'm
yeah.
better with my hands.
Yes.
And I think that's why as well I love cooking.
Yeah.
Because I might not be able to write it down or to understand everything, but once I do it, I will remember it, I know how to improve it, and that's how I get better. And so once I finished the higher national diploma, no answer from any school that I applied, and I had one of my friends that did his work placement in England, and then he said to me, he was like, why don't you come work with me? And so at that point I just thought to myself, my English is terrible. Like I was the last in my class, to be very honest.
Like the last one.
All I knew was, hello, thank you, my name is, and the name of the vegetables and fruits. That was about it.
That's
I
it.
couldn't make proper sentence with using the verb, like I didn't know the irregular verbs and stuff like this.
Yeah.
I was very bad. And so, yeah, I just went with my gut and I was like, you're horrible in English, you've always wanted to travel, let's go to England. And so I took the ferry next to my hometown in a city called Rustic. It's like an overnight trip.
Okay.
I landed in England in Plymouth, and then I took a train for 1 hour, and I ended up in a small city called Torquay. And I started to work there the next day with my friend.
And this is in the kitchen already?
And I was in the kitchen already.
Oh, wow.
And God, for 1 month, it was
hell.
very hard because the accent over there is very strong.
Okay.
And my English was terrible. So, like, just the kitchen hand one day asked me, it's like, do you want some water? And I was like, what is he talking about? And he literally had to open the tap and be like, water.
Oh.
And then I was like, water, with my French accent, you know? I'd never heard this before. And so, yeah, it was very hard. But my head chef was really, really nice. And he was used to work with a lot of foreigners.
Okay.
And so for him, it was simple. Like he was going to give me jobs, showing me, and then I had to remember. And it was one time, two time, third time he slapped me in the back of my head.
Oh,
And that
wow.
was it.
Nice
So it was
system.
strict, but at the same time, it gave me everything to, like, for success.
Yes.
So, like, let's say we were going to do some creme brulee.
Yeah.
You will show me everything. So you have eggs there, you need to get the egg yolk. So then me, mama, I was like, all right, egg yolk is, in French we
yolk
say like
is-
yellow of
yeah,
the
yeah.
eggs, yeah? And then I will write everything in books and then try to remember. And so that's how I improved my English, and I started like to really work in kitchen. Because
Yes.
before it was
Like a summer job.
yeah, and he was a friend of my father.
Oh, of course.
So it's
Yeah, there's no one slapping
yeah.
you in the back
yeah.
or telling you
Yeah,
this.
he was as well,
A little
but
bit,
he's
but-
at the same time you know him and he will always do everything for you. So there I knew nobody. My friend was working in another restaurant,
Yeah.
same company but another restaurant. So I was literally on my own, the only French, and that's it. And then I just put like a lot of hard work, and slowly my English got better, my cooking got better, and that was it. And then I just loved it, and since then I've never left kitchen.
Yeah, you haven't left the kitchen, right?
So I stayed here for 1 year in England.
1 year in England. And is that where you started? Because from what I've researched, when I
Yeah.
checked, it's pastry was your first love, right? Is that where this
So-
started?
When I was in England, I started to work on larder, and the larder section was next to the pastry section.
Yes.
And while cooking, I just always look at pastry, because like I love sweet. As a French person, I love chocolate. I love everything sweet, cakes. I was a bit chubby when I was younger as well. You know? And I was just doing all the entrees and everything. And as soon as I will finish, there will be the pastry chef giving us some cakes and stuff like
Yeah,
this. And it always amazed me, because I think in everyone's mind, pastry is such a delicate job.
Yes.
It's all about being precise, and you have to follow every step of the recipe to make it perfect. And so, same. I went through the same thinking of English. I thought, now I know how to cook a little bit. I know how to use a knife, but I don't know pastry. And you can ask any chef, or like 90% of the chef, they will all tell you, oh, pastry? No, that's not my thing. I don't like pastry. I don't know pastry. It's very difficult. And I was the same. And then I just thought, why not learn pastry? Like
Yeah.
this, it gives me a plus, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
And I had one of my best friend who was in France, and he was working in a Michelin star restaurant.
Yes.
And I was always in touch with him, and he was always telling me like, oh man, it's amazing in this place. It's very hard work. It's very, very strict, but the food we do is incredible. And it just got me thinking, like, the food I'm doing in England, very simple, but when I look at it, I'm not like, wow, I'm not
Yeah.
like amazed with what I've made. And then I was thinking, all right, now my English got better. Why don't I go back France and I start pastry? And so for this, I discussed a bit with my parents, and they just found something for me, which is kind of like an apprenticeship.
Yeah.
So I enrolled with that restaurant. I went for a holiday when I was still in England. I took like a week off, went back to France. I met that head chef. She was like woman, 25 years old. She didn't get her Michelin star at that time, and that was her goal. Like she
get the
took
star.
the restaurant back from her father. Her father created the restaurant, so it was a crepe restaurant.
Oh.
And then he just kept putting the level higher and higher. So from a crepe restaurant, it became like a gastronomic restaurant. Then he opened a little hotel, and then he expanded the hotel, and he opened a thalasso as well in it, and a bistro. And so when my friend said this to me, I was thinking, oh,
I need to work there.
seems very good.
Yeah.
And so I went there to meet them, and I was introduced to a pastry chef that I work in Paris in a 3 Michelin star restaurant. And I was thinking, this is what I need to do. If I want to do the best pastry, I need to learn from the best.
Yeah, yeah.
That was it. And so I met that head chef, and she said, all right, no problem. You can be our apprentice if you want. And so I enrolled in a school, it's called Brest, yeah, same as Brest.
Yeah.
And I enrolled in that school in that city. So I went back in England. In the meantime, I finished my work there and I came back in France. So that was July 2016. I took a couple weeks holiday and then I started to work in that restaurant. So I worked for 1 month on a larder section, just as a summer job again.
Yes.
And then from end of August, I started my pastry study. So the way it works, it was 3.5 weeks working and like 4 to 5 days in school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's not much of
So out of the
studies.
month, 3.5 weeks are
working for the company,
and then the rest of the month, let's say you are in school.
Yeah.
And then that happens for how long?
And that was for 1 year.
So you were 1 year like this in this.
Yes.
With this lady that wants to get the star.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
correct. And so that's how I started pastry. And the good thing about it, and that's why I chose this study, is because it was not difficult for the school part.
And can you've been doing bistros and like smaller restaurants that are trying to do things well, but at a lower scale. When you go into a kitchen that is trying to get a Michelin star, is the change 180? Is it completely different?
It's going from a weekend with your friend to the military school. That's how it felt.
Oh,
Like
wow.
it was very, very difficult.
So the discipline is just
It's
there.
crazy. Like you have to imagine the head chef was a 26 years old woman.
Yeah.
It's in hospitality, when you're a woman, I believe it's so much more difficult.
You gotta prove yourself, yeah.
Yes. And plus she had that business from her father. So if you don't perform, everyone's gonna be like, oh, that's the business of your dad, you know?
Yeah.
So she really had to make a point and to show how good she was. So that means being very strict and being very, very professional. And that was very tough. Her sous chef was a Taiwanese as well, who went in school with her. And same, like incredible chefs. Like they study in the school is called Bocuse School.
Okay.
I don't know if you know that French chef called Paul Bocuse. We call it kind of like the god of the kitchen.
Okay.
You have Escoffier chef, and then you have Paul Bocuse. For me, I think, and for many chefs, is two of the best French chefs we've had in the last 100 years.
Yes.
And that chef, Paul Bocuse, created a school, and so it was only for the best of the best.
And she ended up going
So she went there for 2 or 3 years, and then this school opens you every door. When you do cooking class, your teacher is a 3 Michelin star chef. When you do waiter, it's like the best sommelier of France or the best maître d'hôtel of France. Like,
So she had all the standards and she had all the things.
yeah.
And then
she did work placement in Palace in Paris, so same 3 Michelin star restaurant. So she had like these crazy studies and this crazy connection. Like,
and how's the hours like if you were working with someone like this, is this one of these classic examples? I start 7 a.m. finish at 12 p.m.
So yeah,
Sorry, 12 a.m.
you don't have, I will say you don't have personal life. It's only professional. So in that kitchen we were working from Tuesday 1 p.m. till Sunday 6 p.m. So your day off was Monday.
And only Monday.
Basically you have your Sunday night from 6 p.m.
Oh,
to
okay.
midnight.
Yeah.
So you have your evening off.
Day and a half.
That's it. And your Tuesday morning, because you only start at 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
So it was 2 days off, but let's be honest, it was only 1 day off. And
it's full on.
a normal day, you will start at 9 a.m. You finish in the afternoon, it will be around 3 p.m. Let's say for a good day, it will be 3. When you're in pastry, you might go to 3:30, 4 o'clock. And normally you restart 5:30 in the afternoon. And then you finish when you've sent the last dessert. So sometimes that could be 10:30 or that could be midnight. 1 a.m. You never really know.
And is it like, you said it's like the military,
Yeah.
right? That everyone knows what they're doing, everyone has a job,
Yeah.
there's tasks, there's discipline, there's structure. But then is there also, did you feel like you were working together to get the start? Did it feel like a part of your goal as well, or not that much?
So you work more by section. So I think we were 12, let's say 12 to 15 chefs.
Yeah.
And so on a larger section, you will have your chef de partie, which will be the head chef of that section.
Yeah.
And then you will have 2 commis with him. Then you have the fish section. So you have 1 chef there. You have the meat section, you have 1 chef there. And then you have the pastry section. We had 1 baker, the pastry head chef, pastry chef, and then me, who was the apprentice, basically. And then we had a sous chef and a head chef. And that was just for the gastronomic restaurant. And on the other side of the hotel, they had a bistro restaurant with another team, a bit smaller, but
But a solid team.
Yeah, solid team as well. And I wouldn't say you feel like a whole team, because for us we were in pastry, so you kind of have like a wall. It's a bit separate from the kitchen, but it's more like if you're in pastry, you have the pastry team. If you're on larder, you use the larder team. And then the fish and meat, usually that's when you have the head chef and sous chef working there as well.
Okay.
So it was more like a big team separated in 3 smaller teams.
And you still feel that connection to the end product, to like as an apprenticeship, were you feeling like, oh, I'm part of this family that's trying to achieve one of the hardest goals there is in culinary things, which is get to get a start?
I will say we were not like a family. That's where it's a bit different. It's not a family anymore. It's more like a professional team, but you're apprentice or you're a chef or you're chef de partie, it doesn't matter. You still have you need the same discipline, and you need to show the same results. It's not because you're apprentice that we will allow you to serve a dessert that doesn't look good.
Yes.
If the head chef do a dessert like this, you need to do it like this. Okay. So it's your job to reach that level. And yeah, it's very serious. So at the beginning, my first day, I burned like some custard cream. My head chef was mad at me for 45 minutes, and I was not allowed to talk to anyone anymore.
Sit in the corner, JC, stay there. Huh?
Yeah, basically that's all it was. So yeah, and still we had a lot of fun. So my best friend that got me the job, I can say like this.
Yeah.
He was a chef de partie, and he was on the meat section.
Okay.
And so he has a friend that he met in another work placement that was in charge of the fish section. And then they became my best friend was still my best friend, but that guy on the fish section became my best friend. And then on pastry section, there was a pastry chef, he became one of my best mates as well. And so we became not like a family. When we were working really hard. But as soon as you get out of that kitchen, you go to the bar and you go have fun with everyone.
Yeah, of course.
You have to release the pressure, and whatever happened in the kitchen stays in the kitchen. And that's it. And now it's time to have fun.
All right.
So yeah, it was really good.
So a lot of experience. And then after all of this, how did you decide to leave this environment of France where people are trying to get stars, where the standard is so high? Was it, I need to relax, find somewhere else, go to Australia? Or yes. Just I need to leave France? What took you here?
So I've lost it when I was in pastry.
Okay.
I got a little bit mental. Like it was too much pressure. Like it's 100%. Like when you go home, you're still thinking about the whole day. Like, why did I do this wrong? What do we have to do tomorrow? I think I'm that kind of person as well who always think about work. Like I never really disconnect. Okay. Let's say tomorrow we have a function, I will think about it for the whole evening. Yes. Not in a bad way, but more like to be more confident the next day when I come to work. But when you work in a gastronomic restaurant that is such a high pressure, a little mistake and I will think about it for days. 2 hours. Yeah, okay. Easy. When some people, they will just be like, all right, it's a mistake, that's it.
Let's try
let's get over it, let's do it again. And for me, it will just own me forever. I'll be like, why did I do like this? I knew this, I shouldn't grab it like this. And so
you needed the change?
at some point, I just got a bit too mental. And after 9 months working over there, I was over it. And I was just thinking, I need to graduate and I need to get out of there. So Brittany, same. The weather over there is not very good. It's always raining. So you're always indoor. It's very cold. So I would say it didn't really help in my happiness.
Of course.
And I miss talking English, as hard as it is to believe. When I was in England, I met so many people. I just love to speak English. And when I went back France, I just started to miss it. I was just talking back to French.
French people, French language, French food.
You know everything from there.
Yes.
And back to a normal routine. And then I was just thinking, nah, I'm too young for this. I need to go somewhere else. And one of my friends from school just called me one day out of nowhere, and he was just thinking, oh mate, I'm going in Australia in 2 months. Do you want to come with me? And then I was like, do you know what? Yes, let's go together. And I've always wanted to go Australia since I was really young, for some crazy cliche, kangaroos and surf.
All right.
That's it. And maybe, I think I watched like Crocodile Dundee when I was young, or some movies like this.
It just stayed with you and you say, I gotta be there.
And you see the palm trees and you're just like, oh, it looks so cool. It looks like paradise, crazy weather. And when my friend said this to me, I was like, all right, let's go. And a month later, I graduate, pack my bag, and we just traveled to Australia.
And then you get here.
Yeah.
And then you did was it working holiday?
Yeah, so I applied for working holiday visa, which got granted in 1 minute.
Yeah.
And then we came in a country. And so my friend, he already knew everything about Australia, if I can say so.
Yeah, he did his research, he was ready.
Yes, he researched everything. And so he said to me, he said, look, you have 1 year. If you want 1 more year, we need to do farm work. And so as soon as we landed, it was like, all right, that's the season of the blueberry. Let's try to find a job in blueberries.
Okay.
So we bought a car, we went to blueberry farm, no job. We drive somewhere else, and then we land in an apple farm in Queensland. And yeah, we just worked there for 4 or 5 months.
And renew.
Got enough days for the second year. And then as soon as we get enough days and I renew my visa, I came back to Sydney, and then I started to work in a crepe restaurant.
It had to be, right?
It has to. Like,
full circle.
I'm French, I'm from Brittany. They have a crepe shop in Circulaki. Let's go there. And so I went there, I got the job, and I worked there for 2-3 weeks. That was during Vivid. So it was very busy period. But honestly, after 1 week, I was surrounded with French people, doing French food, and straight away in my mind I was thinking, this is not what I came here for. So that's not gonna work. And so I kept looking for job, and then I started to work in Hilton Hotel in Town Hall.
Okay.
So the restaurant is like Glass Brasserie.
Yeah, Glass Brasserie.
And the head chef was, let's say the executive chef was Luc Mangan. I believe for every Australian is like a famous chef. I didn't know him. That's not why I got the job. I just found it online. I checked the menu. It looks great, and then I started working over there. And yeah, like in a like a restaurant in a hotel is very different to a small bistro. Or same, we were like 15 chefs. We were doing 200 to 300 cover on a Saturday night, and very interesting. Kind of a high standard. I wouldn't say gastronomic, but almost like it. We were trying our best. And I worked there for 9 months, loved it. And because of visas, I couldn't work longer.
Yeah.
So when you're on working holiday visa, you can only do 6 months per company.
Okay.
So I did 3 months with my first visa and then 6 months with my second visa. And then just towards the end of my contract, my head chef started to talk to me about doing a sponsor. And so that's when it came to my mind. I was thinking like, I love Australia. I could have a chance to stay here. And for some reason, the company couldn't sponsor me because I think they had trouble with other people.
Okay.
And so they decided to stop for a bit. So it just didn't work for me. But then the idea came through my mind, and then I was thinking, yeah, I want to stay in Australia. So then I started looking for another job for sponsor and still working in hospitality. And so I ended up working in a cafe in Barangaroo. And over there, the chef told me, yeah, no problem. You can work with us. Let's see what we can do for you. And so I started to work with them. So the cafe was takeaway food, a lot of fresh salads and sandwich as well. Everything was homemade apart from the bread.
Okay.
And fresh every day. We were 2 chefs in a cafe. And they had a big bar and restaurant where they had another team. And they were like another 5 or 6 chefs. So yeah, I worked there for 5 years, and then I got my permanent residency in Australia, and so now I'm working in a steakhouse.
You work in a steakhouse.
And that's it. Different
love it.
again, and high quality, and completely different. So yeah, I love it.
Yeah. So you just.
I think that's all about my career.
So that's your journey.
That's it.
Now that you've made it this far, if I could make a comparison, do you miss that intensity of the kitchen? So you once left it, and then when you came here to Australia, it was like a little bit of the opposite, right? A little bit more relaxed.
Yeah.
And you work in places that, even though, as you said, had high standards, were not gastronomic.
Yeah.
Do you miss the intensity, the discipline, the?
I would say that over the years, I've changed a little bit my mind about cooking. So when I was young, and I think like everyone, when you start something, you always think of the best of the best, the high level. And so that's what I was trying to do at the beginning. And once you've experienced it, you see the positive and you see the negatives. And so for me, the bad point about gastronomic restaurant was no life. It's all about work. So when you're young, single, it's really good.
Yes.
You push, you learn a lot, you become a machine. That's great. But when you get a bit older and you start getting a bit tired, standing 10 hours in a kitchen, sometimes you just think, yeah, I know all of this, but how about going back to basics? Just great food. Food that you will have on a Sunday with your family. And I think that's what gets me more excited now. Simple food, but you make it in a best way possible. Like if you're gonna cook a steak, cook it the best way possible. But I'm not gonna cut it in a specific way, cook it on low temp and then
And sous vide and all of this, just so it.
that's it. Then I've learned all this technique. There's so much more to learn. But for me I'm losing a bit of that cooking skill. Like when you start putting some powders in pastries to make just a glaze, you have like 10 different ingredients. Every time it comes to my mind, I'm like, if I'm home, I can't do this.
Yeah.
And to make that dessert, it's gonna cost me $30.
Yeah.
So there's no point. I prefer to have something very simple, using nice products, and then it just tastes great. That's what now I like about cooking. More than something disconstructed and
twisting it or this kind
That's
of
it.
things.
So I feel like you can do a bit of both.
You can do a little bit, but so you said simple food but quality ingredients. Do you think the ingredients are more important than the technique? That you need that base of the ingredients in order to build a great dish? Or do you think with the right techniques and all of these new and improved techniques you can just do it?
It's a bit of both. So if we get you bad product and you can do something amazing with it, that means that you have an incredible technique and knowledge. But if you have something amazing, you have to make something amazing with it. If it's not amazing at the end, that means something went wrong in your technique. Like if I get you the best butter and then I ask you to make a garlic thyme butter, if it doesn't taste good at the end, then your technique or your recipe is not great. But if I get you a very bad butter, like very low quality, low cost, like the cheapest one of the market, and you can make an amazing garlic thyme butter, then I believe your recipes and your technique are very good. And so I think it's good to have a combination of both, where you have the technique and the knowledge, the good recipes, but if you can, use the best product possible. Because when you use eggs, you don't necessarily want to buy like cage eggs. You prefer to buy something like biologics or
something organic.
the best
Yes.
products possible. So the customer at the end, he just sees it in a plate and he knows where the products come from, and obviously he's happy to pay money for it. I would say that's my vision of cooking.
Do you think it's hard for chefs to sometimes take their, let's call it ego, out of the equation? You've been in places that are trying to get a star and things like this, and sometimes these places get the best ingredients available, but then they also apply thousands and thousands of techniques on something, and they decide we have to cut the leek this way because this way is gonna make it look like this. Do you think they're putting too much thought into it, and sometimes they don't let the ingredients speak?
So as I will say, it depends on everyone, on what they want to do. So when I was in pastry in France, their goal was to do the best food possible. But we knew that the food cost was probably very high. But they were covering their expenses with the hotel. So the hotel money was covering the spending of the restaurant. So they had that possibility of saying, look, let's buy that fish. It's maybe $100 a kilo, but it doesn't matter. That's the best fish on the market. And so then when you have this on your plate, the customer was just like, wow, this is amazing. Not in quantity, but in quality. And if you're just a small restaurant, this is not gonna work. It's gonna work for 3 months, but then you're gonna spend more than you earn, and it's just not gonna work at the end. So I think being a chef is not only about cooking, it's about knowing what you want for the business. If you work in a small restaurant, you need to make money, to pay salaries, to buy the produce. And so all of this become a problem, or the goal of the restaurant. So for example, the restaurant I work at the moment, I would say they're trying to make profit. So we buy great produce, customer spend good money for it. It's not very cheap, but it's our job as a chef to have the best result. And you might buy like cheap cream and cheap butter, but then you will buy good meat because we are a steakhouse. So we spend big money on the meat, but then when it comes to vegetables and like basic produce like flour and sugar, we spend as minimum as possible, just to try to balance.
So you're saying it's a balance. You don't need
Yeah.
you don't need always the best in order to make a quality meal.
Not really. Like, if you want to be the best restaurant in the world, yes, you need everything to be the best. But if you're a good steakhouse and you want to have the best steaks, then you're gonna spend money on the steaks. And people, that's what they're coming for a great steak. And obviously they're gonna eat something else. So let's say they want mashed potato. We might not buy the best potato, but we will have a good recipe. So good cream, good butter, and cheap potato. And then you make the best mash as possible. And that's where you just balance a bit.
Yeah, you need to find the
get
middle ground.
That's it. For me, is as a chef, like if I wouldn't buy it in a supermarket, I wouldn't buy it for a restaurant neither.
Okay.
So if when I'm home and I go to buy food in supermarket, if I find it cheap and it looks bad, as a chef, I don't want to buy this neither for the restaurant.
Okay.
I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense. Yeah, especially you that you grew up in a farm and everything. I think you have an extra layer of appreciation for the ingredients because your family's time and effort goes into growing great ingredients, right? So
and sometimes it's good. Like my father will bring vegetable to the chef I used to work for, and then it's good. Like you know where it come from, you see how you're cooking it. And then the customer is happy. Sometimes they ask like, "Oh, where does this come from?" And then we just say like, "It comes from this farmer." And for me, this is what I like about restaurant. You know where it comes from. You make good quality, and that's it. If the customer is happy, I'm happy. That's the most important.
And do you believe that has been the case everywhere you've worked? Because you work in France, you work in the UK, you work here in Australia.
No, so in Australia, I will say all the dry goods and vegetables that we had was always the cheapest possible. But then when it comes to oysters, fish and meat, they always try to get good quality.
Okay.
When I was in England, the vegetables were really good, but the meat was not very good, and the fish was average. And when I was in France, I would say the seafood was from around, so it was fresh and good and local. Vegetable was local as well, and meat, some was local, some was from somewhere else in France,
Yeah.
but it was not like the best quality because we were trying, like the seafood restaurant I work for, it was very cheap, but for the best quality we can do. So for entree, main, dessert, you will spend $50, so it's very cheap, but then you will have the best seafood because it comes from one of our neighbors, so he give us a good price. And then vegetable come from my father, so same, because it come from farmer to the restaurant.
Yeah, it's just a straight line, right?
Yeah, and it becomes cheaper. Like you don't have to go through a retailer where the price go higher. And so we were able to keep the price low, and then you see the result at the end. Like the customer was paying $50 for 3 courses,
And
and
it's all quality food.
that's it. And they were really happy about it.
Do you think this is achievable in? You've been in Sydney, you've been
Yeah.
in the UK. I assume Sydney is the biggest city that you've worked on. And then,
Yes.
do you think this is achievable in a city like this? You've also studied accounting and you've studied hospitality. Do you think
Yeah.
it's achievable for restaurants to start working directly with the producer, or in places that are now so big, you need the role of the supplier that just gathers everything and just distributes it, and whoever pays the most gets the best? Or can people still be profitable and work with the local producers?
I think it's possible. Like you can see some place and some like restaurant in Sydney that are very expensive, but they know where everything come from. So they work with farmers, they work with butchers, and they have the best of the best. But at the end of it, you can see in a price that is very expensive. And I think this is because of being a city. Like there's a lot of money around. Like my hometown, we are like 5,000 to 6,000 people.
Yes.
So you don't have like all these engineer, all these tech companies. So there's obviously less money around. So to get customers, you have to offer something good, and it has also to be affordable.
Okay.
In a city like Sydney, you have everything. So you will have the cheapest restaurant that is using the cheapest produce, and it will always be busy because you always have people thinking, let's go to a restaurant and spending the minimum possible. But you're gonna have some people that have a lot of money that will want the best, and they will go to this restaurant where they will spend maybe $300-400 a head, but then they have the greatest produce in a plate. So I think it's doable. It's easier to do it in a city because you have more budget, but it could be, you have to put the effort into it to go out of the city,
Because
to
the
meet
relationship
farmers.
is now very
Yes.
far, right?
Yes, there's
Yeah.
no relation, and it's easier for you to go through a big companies that delivers you everything. So it's, of course, it is doable. Australia is a bit different because it's such a big country,
Yeah, it's such a big
and sometimes like oysters come from 150 kilometers away.
Yes.
So for Australia, it's not much, but for some countries like where I'm from in France,
Where it's a little bit more close.
yes.
All right, so we've talked about your time in France, your time in
Yeah.
Australia, and how that shaped you as a chef.
Yeah.
Now I want to ask you more about how you see things now that you've had all of this experience, and I want to ask you a question that I've noticed since I came to Australia. We come from Mexico and
Yep.
France, which are countries with a very strong culture
Yes.
and a very strong culinary identity, let's call it.
Yep. 100%.
Right? French food and Mexican food, I think, are some of the
Some of the best.
best,
Yes,
and
yes.
definitely top 5 when it comes to the culinary world, right?
Yeah.
Here in Australia, I don't mean this with any disrespect or anything like that, but they lack a little bit of these culinary things, right? There's always the
Yeah.
joke like, oh, you guys don't have your own food. It's just a combination of many
Yeah.
things. But it's also a very young country. It also has started very not long ago. Do you think that at this point right now, are we seeing the shaping of or what will become Australian cuisine?
Let's say like this. I would say for French food, it's all about history. So earlier I was talking about a chef called Escoffier. So he created these recipes, like for example, he has these 5 Moses sauce. So it's like basics. Let's say you want a hollandaise sauce. So he made it like as a basics. You do it with egg yolks and it's emulsified with some butter. Then you will have like bechamel, which is you make a roux with some flour and butter. Then you will have like the tomato sauce. And he made all of this as basics. French food is related to all this basic cooking. So you will have like a fish stock, vegetable stock, meat stock, this Moses sauce that I was talking about, and then all about some different stew. And now everything is evolving with internet, and obviously everyone can travel everywhere in the world. So we start to see the food becoming more healthy with different combination. Like you will have a dish that can be French on the base, but using, let's say, Mexican produce, for example.
Yeah.
And I feel like Australia is a country that has so much diversity. Like they have every nationality. Like when you just walk in a city, you will hear maybe 10 different language in 30 minutes. And I feel like that's the culinary basics of Australia. It's combining every countries together. And in France, maybe the restaurants are still very like French food and local. But when you come to Australia, you might have a place doing a combination of Japanese and French, another place doing maybe some Chinese and combining with something else. And I think that's the culinary of Australia. That's what it is. It's mixing and combining everything together and having their own dish and their own specialty.
Do you think this, as a chef, gives the opportunities to people here in Australia to take more risk? Because as you said, in both our cultures, there's ways to do things. There's a dish that this is how it's been done, and it has always been done this way. So when someone tries to make a twist on it, they might be like, "What are you doing? Don't fix what is not broken, right?"
Yeah.
Do you think in Australia people have more freedom to explore new?
I think so, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, like in France, if you make a béarnaise sauce, it has to be made exactly like this. Like if you're in north or south, it will be relatively the same sauce. In Australia, sometimes you will see a twist on it. Let's say a hollandaise sauce, you might have hollandaise, like spicy hollandaise sauce, or like a green hollandaise sauce.
Yeah.
And that's where sometimes you see maybe like an Asian chef will put like a chili that he has from his country in that hollandaise sauce. And that's where he brings his own twist. And I feel like in restaurant and cafe here in Australia, you see a lot of name or dish that are known from everyone, but it's always like with a twist on it, something different. And that's really good for Australia. I think that's another thing. As being a chef, it just reminds you that basics not enough. Like, yes, you have basics, but using produce from a different country will completely change the dish. And I think that's really good.
Yeah, that's great. And then, as you said, when you're using products from another country, the dish changes. But also when you're working with people from a different country, the dish change as well, right? Because you have many ideas and many ways of thinking about it. And you told me before that when you were in France, you missed, when you came back from the UK, you missed being in the UK and you missed speaking English.
Yeah.
And you missed, from what I told you, miss the multiculturality of it, meeting other people and things like that. And I think that's some of the motivation to come to Australia.
Yeah.
So how does that shape you to collaborate, to come here and you start collaborating with people from different places? Have you seen like, oh, the way that they cook this in this place is different because the chef is from here and he used it? How does that collaboration happen as opposed to a team that is so all the same?
Um, it's good. Like it reminds you who you are and what you do. As a French chef again, when you're in France, you always hear, which in my opinion is not true, but you always hear like we have the best restaurant, we have the best chef, we do the best food. And when I came here in Australia, I discovered a lot of Asian cooking, and honestly, it was like a slap in my face because I was thinking, no, French food is the best.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I went to some Chinese restaurant or Japanese restaurant, and the food was just amazing. And I had no idea of what I was eating, and I was just seeing them doing stuff like deep frying some eggplants with some like a sweet sauce on it. And the way it was in my mind, I was thinking, this is not gonna work. Like we will never do this in France.
Yeah.
And when you eat it, you're just thinking like, wow, this is amazing.
Yeah, this guy's a genius.
Exactly. And so it just, for me, it just opened my eyes that there's no limit in cooking. And that's what I love in Australia. Like in a kitchen, you always have, out of 5 chefs, you will have 3 different nationality.
Yes.
And it's good because, let's say staff meal. For example, today I might do a French dish for staff meal, but tomorrow's Nepalese chef is gonna make a Nepalese dish. And so sometimes when you eat food, you're just thinking like, oh, I've never had this before. And so
Yes.
that's where you will, like for me, that's where I'm getting a bit curious, and I will ask that chef to show me how he did, what did he use, what is it, and that's where it brings me to a next level as well in cooking, because I have my French basics, but now here in Australia I'm able to mix it with international cooking, and I think that's very nice too.
Yeah, it's like you said, sometimes you have the best ingredients, but you still need the technique
Yeah,
to do it. And if you get more techniques, the more things that you can
Yeah.
do at the end of the day,
like
right?
we can use the example like in France, for example, when we will make a chicken curry, you will use the curry spice and that's it. Here in Australia, I've learned with some Nepali chef where you make a combination of spices, like you will have like cumin seeds, fennel seeds, you will have like coriander seeds, and you will toast everything in a pan first, then you will use like a mortar pestle to break everything in a paste, and then you will put some garlic, onion, and just it's a list of 10 different spices, and that will get you the flavor of an amazing curry. And in France, we just have this curry powder that we use, and that might be, like we were saying earlier, might be a very bad produce, very cheap spice. And we were thinking we were making good curry, but then when I tried curry from a Nepali chef, I was just amazed, and I was like, wow, this is a real curry. This is amazing. And it goes for every single dish that you can see everywhere.
Yes.
So yeah.
Now, this is inside the kitchen, but you are a bit multicultural outside
Yeah.
the kitchen as well.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to let the listeners know, but your partner is not from France, right?
Yeah, my
So-
partner is from China,
Yeah,
Uh,
which is
from Sichuan.
a completely different culture. I
Completely different. We've met here in Australia. Um, Same, our English was not very good at the beginning, and so I think we communicate through food. That's
Okay.
one of the main reasons we met. We were living in the same, like a backpacker hotel basically, and then we had like a shared kitchen, and we were like 4 or 5 different nationality, and we used to do this where it was every day you cook, like one country cook.
Okay.
So let's say on Monday, me and my French friend, we will cook French food. On Tuesday, my partner with her friend, we're cooking Chinese food. And then the day after, we had 2 English guys, so they were cooking fish and chips. Stuff like this.
A big for the English, huh?
Sorry. But, no, but that's how we really met, like through cooking. And I was just amazed.
Does she like French food?
Yeah, she loved it. Like she found it a bit hard at the beginning
Okay.
because we use like a lot of butter, a lot of cream,
Yes.
a lot of sweet for desserts, and for them is it's like a no-go with sugar.
Yes.
And but for her is she's a chili lover, so
Are you a chili lover now? No.
I can't handle spice. I believe I got much better, but it's very difficult. Like the flavor are amazing for 10 seconds, and then my whole mouth just get numb. So it's I do try to get better. I think I have improved a lot, but it's a different level. Like since she's a kid, she's been eating spicy food.
Yes.
And so for Sichuan people, it's all about like a hot pot and like chilies and it's for where me I will put butter and cream, she put chilies basically. So it's two different worlds, and yeah, she liked French food.
That's good. Is there similarities? You said it's very obvious that it's opposite, right? The
Yeah.
Chinese culture with French culture. But have you find similarities or not really? Is there something that you say, oh, we kind of do something like this in France?
Yes. So I found out that because Chinese history is so big,
Yes.
such a big country, and their history go like so long back. They have everything. Like they kind of have crepes, like from where I'm from in Brittany.
Yes.
It's a bit different. It might be like savory crepes, maybe not sweet. And it looks similar. It doesn't taste the same, but it looks similar. For example, in France, we have like this scallop dish with like creams, vegetables. In China, they will have it, but more like oriented in spice. So it looks a bit similar, but it tastes different. They use same produce again, but it's a little bit different technique. Like they have this saying that Italian cuisine come from China with Marco Polo, right? Who traveled back in China and then bring back like what he discovered in Italy. So they're saying like he brings the noodles back in Italy and then Italy made it into pasta.
Yes.
So is sometimes you find like similarities, like they have yogurt. In France, we are big fans of yogurts. There is some stuff. They are a bit more extreme, I would say. Like they eat absolutely everything.
Okay.
So when I went to China, like we eat like the ear of pigs. You eat the brain of the lamb. When in France, you don't really eat those parts. It's like, I would say my grandparents and great-grandparents were eating this, and then it got a bit forgotten. And we only eat like I don't know if I can say like this, like noble part of the animal. So it's in China, they eat everything. And I really like this too. Like there's no wastage. You take the whole pig, they're gonna eat everything. Even the skin, they will just pop it and eat it like a cracker.
And did you try it all? You went for it all?
Oh, it's impossible to try everything. They have so much stuff, but everything that I've been given, I've tried it. Like France is known for eating frogs. When I went in China, we eat frog hot pot. So it was something that I was always thinking like, oh, I didn't think you guys were eating this.
And turns out they do.
And they do. And yeah, it was very nice. But they have everything, like the entire frog with all the bones and everything. So that's where you see as well the culture is a bit different.
The technique, yeah.
In a restaurant in France, you will not serve it like this because people will think, nah, there's bones, I can't eat it.
Yes.
It's not elegant, or how can I eat with a fork and knife? When in China, when I was there, like
you get the chopsticks and
that's it. With the chopstick, you eat it, and then you just put the bone on the side of on a side dish, and that's how you eat it. So yeah, same food, different way.
Same food, different
way. But yeah.
Now, you said that everything that they gave you to try, you tried it.
Yeah.
And you also were telling me that food was how you and your girlfriend started to get close together. But do you think it also food has the opportunity to, or the role to strengthen the relationship? Because once you get to know each other through food, the act of you going to China with her family and accepting everything that they give you, it's also a part of accepting her culture and the way they eat, right?
I think this depends on everyone. for me, like the way I've been raised is when someone gives you something, you accept it and you try. And I was also very curious. I was a bit worried to go in China because my partner would always tell me, "Oh, you'll see when we go there. I think you're not gonna be able to eat this." And then when I went there, they were all very welcoming with me and they were showing me stuff and making me try stuff. And even though I don't speak Chinese and they don't speak English, I think sometimes it was a way of us communicating.
Yes,
You know,
yes,
they
yes,
will
yes.
invite me to eat something, and then it could be very spicy, and I would just eat it, and they will be surprised because my partner will say like, "Nah, this is too spicy. He's not gonna be able to eat it." And so, yeah, sometimes I think it will just bring us together.
Yeah.
Now I will say sometime at home, she will be craving some spicy food, and me, I will just be like, nah, I don't want it. So it will be those kind of days where she cook her own food and I cook my own food. And it happens once in a while, Uh, but yeah, sometimes I know what she like as French dish, so I will just cook it for her. Like I know she loves seafood, so I will do like some mussels, and she will just love to eat this. And on the other hand, like, I mean, for me, people will say I'm very white, but I love like dumplings or fried rice. And so she will cook this for me sometime. And that's it. And she also teach me a lot of Asian cooking that
Yeah.
I love, and I've tried to use it as much as possible. When I was working in that cafe, every day we were making like a different hot dish or different salads. And so that's where I bring the knowledge she gave me. So I was doing some sweet sour chicken or like fried rice, fried noodles.
And you were applying this on your professional life, let's say, all of these.
Yes. So what I've been eating at home and what I loved, I've asked her to show me how she was doing it. And then when I was working, even if I make a staff meal, sometimes I'll just make it for the staff. And then if people really love it, in that cafe we had a lot of freedom of making new dish every day. So that's where I would just try it with the customers. And some customers will love it, some customers will not love it sometime. And that's it. You just have to try,
Yeah, you just have to try.
Yeah.
I saw also, now that you're speaking of cooking at home, I was scrolling through your Instagram, and I
Yeah.
saw that you had a little episode where you were cooking breakfast, I believe during lockdown.
Oh yeah.
And you were posting the breakfast that you were cooking, and I can see 2 plates in every picture, so I think you were cooking for your girlfriend.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about this. How did this little breakfast?
So lockdown was not working much, staying at home most of the time, and just going for walks every day. And then I was just thinking, I've got time on my hands. Sometimes when you work in hospitality, you can be very tired, long days. You get home, you just think, no, I'm just gonna make a sandwich, or I'm just gonna eat some easy food. And so during lockdown, I literally had a lot of time for me. And then that just made me want to do stuff that I was doing in restaurant for her as a breakfast, and just to make it feel like we were outside eating in a cafe. And so that's what I was trying to do a little bit. I'm not very good with social media, not very good with pictures, but then like she will just love it. She will just wake up and she will have her breakfast ready, like avocado toast or stuff like this. And yeah, it was just fun to do.
Yeah, no, it did look very interesting. I was surprised to see that you had like pastry, and then you had like 6 or 7 pictures of breakfast, and I was like.
So I've been trying to pictures a lot of the dish that I do, but sometimes when you work in kitchen and you take pictures and it just don't look great because it's on the bench of the kitchen, and then when I'm home and I'm just looking at my picture, and like scrolling through Instagram, on sometimes you see like amazing like big chefs like putting amazing pictures on it, and then when I was looking at my own pictures, I was thinking like, nah, it's not good enough to put it on the social media. So I would just not post it. And from time to time in my mind, I'm just like, doesn't matter, just post it.
Yeah, just post it.
I should just post it for myself instead of people. And so, yeah, that's why I just switch a little bit. When I created my Instagram page, that was a while ago. At the beginning, I was thinking I would just put pastry all the time.
I saw you.
And
I scrolled through
that's
so
it.
many
Yeah.
pictures of desserts. I
So-
was like, this.
Very committed at the beginning, and then I just stop it, and I still like I think on my phone I have maybe like 100 different dish that I just haven't posted because maybe I didn't like it, or I just didn't take the
and it
time to
reflects
post it.
how your identity changed throughout the time. Where, as you said before, it was this discipline. I'm single. I can just work, and everything was about the
Yeah.
dish and the dish and the dish. And then suddenly it's this period of time where no one's doing anything. Everyone's at home.
Yeah.
And then you decide to I'm gonna do breakfast, and breakfast is where I'm gonna show care and effort
Yeah.
to my girlfriend, who I really love.
Yeah,
I'm sure you do.
Yeah, totally.
And I think that's it. And I wanted to ask you why was it breakfast? Because I'm a breakfast lover myself.
Okay.
I really do enjoy to cook breakfast. So
So-
it really got me.
That's something that I discovered in Australia. So same from my French roots. Breakfast is very simple and it's sweet. So for my parents, for example, we will have, it's very cliche, yeah? It's baguettes at home, or baguettes in the middle of the table. You have butter, you have jam, and that's it. And you have your coffee. That's breakfast.
And a cigarette, of course.
I've quit smoking, but yeah, basically that's what it is. And if you want to go into luxury, let's say on a Saturday morning or Sunday morning,
Yeah.
like my great grandfather had this ritual of going every Sunday morning to buy croissant or pain au chocolat in a bakery, and then he would just bring this home. So that was a nice breakfast of the week. But for me, breakfast has always been like this.
Like
Sweet and or bread and butter. That was it. Or as a kid, you will have like the bowl of cereals with milk.
Okay, yeah.
And also as well, you could have brioche and then you put the Nutella on it.
Nutella, butter.
And we also have, so in France we have those crepe that you can buy in supermarket, like packet of 10 or 12. And then you just open the packet, you grab one, you put whatever you want as well. So most of the time was Nutella, and then just eat it, and then you go to school or you go to work. And when I came in in England already, I've seen the breakfast.
Yeah, with the beans and the
Yes.
sausage and all
But
that.
I found it very hard for me because it feels very heavy. Like you have the sausages, they have this black pudding, they have the eggs and bacon. And when I used to see it in my mind, I was thinking like, there's no way I can eat this for breakfast. Like that's too much. And I just never really went into it because we were a lot of Europeans. So there was some Italian and Spanish people living with me as well. And so we kind of always stayed in that sweet breakfast routine. And when I came to Australia, I discovered the cafe where they have amazing coffee made from barista. And they have those chefs like making crazy avocado toast, and that's where I discovered a completely new world again, like a cafe opening at 6 o'clock in the morning, and you can go in there and you have your poached eggs with bread. This is something that I've never seen in France. Like a restaurant normally open at 12, maybe 11.
Yeah, nothing
but they
like
don't
7
open at-
a.m. or
yeah.
something like this.
That was something that I've never seen before. And for the first year, I just kept going with my sweet breakfast. And then slowly I started to try like avocado toast. And I just became a big breakfast lover. And so just went from cafe to another cafe and tried everything that I could. And so yeah, there was that time during lockdown where I was just loving bread and avocado, doing some marinated tomatoes or just roasting tomatoes. Try every different eggs possible, like scrambled, poached, fried, just doing some nice omelets. And so yeah, I love this in Australia. Amazing breakfast.
Yeah, they do breakfast very well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree on that.
And then I was working in a cafe where we were making
Breakfast all the time,
breakfast
yeah, of
all the
course.
time as well. So when you try the smashed avocado in the morning, at first you're just thinking like, I don't want
what
to
is
eat this
this,
at
right?
6
Yeah.
a.m. But after a month, you start liking it. And then when you're starving in a kitchen at 10:30, you're like, let's grab a
little bit of
little bit bread.
avocado.
That's it. And that's how it got me into it. So
Oh,
yeah.
that's nice. All right, so you've been doing quite a few things, and cooking, food, and hospitality is a big part of your life.
Yeah, It's I would say my life is around this. Like the working in hospitality is taking so much time of your life that it has to be a part of it. Like if you don't like it, it's gonna be very difficult.
And do you think during your journey, were you did you choose it, or do you think you were chosen? Was it like life, the flow took you to hospitality, and just, as you said, one day it clicked, and then I'm working here, and then I'm working for this chef that inspires me, and then I'm in this country where food is the way I communicate with people and the person that I love, and I'm exploring her culture through the way she eats. And do you think you were thrown into it, or did you choose it? Did you were like, no, I'm gonna do this, and it was like step by step?
I think is I choose it. So my parents always push me to whatever you're gonna do, you need to commit. And so if it doesn't work, do it harder, making it work, and the result will come at some point. And for my parents, that's how it is in life. Like no matter what you're gonna do, don't give up. Just keep pushing. And so when I studied hospitality, there was time where I would just hate cooking. Like there will be a month where I will not like my job. I will just go home and be like, I don't want to eat. Just go to fast food. Like literally, just don't talk to me about food. Like, and there will be time where I would just love it. Like anything that I will do, like you said, when I went to China, like every day for me, my life was around food. Like I wanted to walk in streets, try new foods, and discover stuff, and that's why I think I've worked very hard for the first 5 to 10 years, and now I'm getting to a point where I'm enjoying a bit more. Before was a lot of a big learning process where I had to learn everything about like how to use a knife, how to cook stuff, how to use the oven. And now that I kind of know all of this, now when I go out somewhere, I will just question myself and be like, oh, this dish, how did they make it? Maybe they did like that. Maybe they used this. And so now it just gets me thinking with my knowledge. Yeah, I think it's because I really commit to it over the years, and now like when you do something for so long, it's either you hate it or either you love it. And when it comes to food, we all have to eat every day, so I just have to love it. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And now, as you said that you are enjoying more, and let's say you've had this intense period of learning.
Yep.
Now you're enjoying, and now I think it's time, from what I can see, as I said before, I've worked with you.
Yeah.
I can see that you are starting to go into a leadership position, and people in the kitchen respect you, they look after you, and they look for answers with you.
Yeah.
How do you feel in that position, and how are you doing to, as someone else did before you, inspire that passion and identify this passion?
I will say, like at the beginning, you know, when you walk in a kitchen and you don't know nothing, is you look to someone, like your head chef or your sous chef, and he's going to show you everything, explain you everything. Like there's a vegetable you've never seen. He's gonna explain you what it is. He's gonna show you how to cook it. And over the years, like you just get more and more confident over the job that you do. Like at the beginning, you just peel vegetables. Then the second level is you're gonna chop the vegetables. Then the third level, you're gonna cook the vegetables. And so when you start something from the beginning to the plate, and you've done it multiple times, then you become confident with it. And so for me in the kitchen, it was always about starting from entree, do everything from getting the delivery to the plate. Then from entree, I went to pastry. So pastry, same, from the basic to the plate. And my goal was always to try and do it on every section in a kitchen. And so now I will say that in pretty much every restaurant I will go, I roughly know how it will work on larder, how it will work on pastry, and how he will work on vegetables. And then now I'm trying to learn with the meat, so the cooking process, and because in Australia, like, it's very hard, right? Like you have so many different temperatures, you have so many different quality of meat, all the part of the cow, for example, with the steak that we cook.
Yes.
And so I still think that you learn from someone every day, but there is this new chef that start working in a company. When you've been working there for a few months, you automatically become more and more experienced. And if you have someone new coming in, you want to make them feel comfortable. So if someone new is going to start working with me tomorrow, I'm going to do my best to try and explain them the way I do the process, what's the best way of doing it, my little tricks that sometimes I can have. And I wouldn't say that I'm in a position of a leadership, but I would say I'm maybe in a position where I've seen most of it in that restaurant. And so that's why people will more like rely on me sometime, and they will ask me questions as to, oh, how do you think we should do this? Why would you do that? And that's where I will have answers. And you always have some people like are more in the background, just waiting for you to tell them what to do. And sometimes you need to take decision. Like you have a job to do, and you need to organize everything. So that's where it is very different. Like when you're home, you just cook, and then you eat. In a restaurant, you have the whole organization. Like if someone comes, you want to make sure they can. If they order the food, you want to make sure they receive the food in the next 10 to 15 minutes. You don't want them to wait 45 minutes and just be like, nah, come on, like, I have to make it better. No, they're coming, they're spending money, so you have to make sure they have the best experience. The waiter is gonna serve your food and make them feel comfortable.
Yes.
But if they are waiting for 30 to 40 minutes, at some point the customer is gonna be like, where's my food?
Yeah.
So it's our job in the kitchen to do everything we can to make it the best, the quickest, and that's it. And that's where, like, I think after 10 years I've gained a lot of experience in this. And sometimes when you have young chefs working with us, even though I'm still very young, I'm 30 years old, but sometimes you work with chefs that are 45, 50, and they have so much experience. And when you look at them, the way they think, and it is so good to have someone like this around you, because you know you can rely on them. And it's good for them as well, because when they see you cooking, sometimes they rely on you, and that's where you become like a team and like a family. And so, yeah, I think at the moment, that's why people might follow what I say, or sometimes I ask them, I say, what would you do? What would you do? How do you want to do it? We do the way you want. And I like to give that freedom to people as well. Like I don't want it to make it feel too military. Like I've been in that very stressful environment, and I feel like some people don't like this and they don't want this. So I try to be as nice as possible. But then there could be time where I'm very demanding. Yeah. And so I can be seem as very hard or very rush, but for me there's no hard feeling. It's never personal, it's always for the customer. Yeah. That's the only way I see it. If the customer is happy, I'm happy. And then let's all have fun. So yeah.
Let's all have fun. Yeah, that's very important. So what's next? What's next for you, JC? Now that
that's a very good question. I'm not sure yet. So I've worked through the last few months. I've done a couple events with one of my old head chef as a private chef. So you go to some people's house and you cook dinner for them. We did some canapé events, and I love this. Like I found it very, very nice. It's completely different than the restaurant environment. Like this time you bring your own food. It's your decision, and you cook in people's house. So it's very different, and I loved it. And I'm thinking to maybe try and do it a little bit more to see if that's something that I could do. And on the other side, I'm thinking I would like to go to different restaurants and try to gain more and more experience. Especially for me, I think it's important that I learn more about meat and seafood, there's so many different fish. Like
Yes.
there's some restaurant only use salmon and kingfish, and they think they know everything about fish, but there's so much more. And that's something that I would like to, maybe going into some seafood restaurant and try to gain knowledge on this. And now that I'm in a steakhouse, I'm just trying to really push my skill on meat.
On meat.
Yeah, just to try and become a machine on a grill, which
That's
I'm
good.
not, but hopefully one day it will come. So yeah, it will still be in hospitality. Let's see where it takes me. I'm thinking maybe private chef or more restaurants. I have this little dream of mine to maybe open my own shop. Like
Okay.
could be pastry shop, could be restaurant, could be cafe. I have no idea what it
You
is.
want to have your own thing.
Yeah, I think at the end of it, maybe in 10 years, I would like to have my own place
Your own place.
and just do whatever I like, whatever I want, and not to have to follow what my boss wants.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, definitely.
I think that will be my goal, is to do my own thing, like my parents did. My parents were their own boss. They were doing what they wanted. And I think that's something that I want to do as well, just to be my own boss, have my business.
That's
So, yeah.
very, very good. Now, this is the first time, this question specifically that I have next, I'm gonna ask it to every single person that I
Okay.
have. But you're the first person
Yeah, okay.
that I have asked it to. This is the question that I'll be closing off with. And this is because we talk about hospitality, we talk about work,
Yeah,
we talk about things that we're passionate, and as we said, it's very demanding.
Yeah.
It's an industry that if you want to make it the biggest you can, it takes time. As you said, it's 12, 15-hour days for
Yeah.
6 days a week. And we talked a little bit about before that sometimes you need that balance.
yeah,
So I'm trying to figure out what is like a day off for people in our industry, because at the end of the day we're also people outside of the kitchen, outside of the restaurant, outside
Yeah.
of the hotel. And yeah, so that question is, what is your ideal day off? For JC, what's the ideal day
my
off?
ideal day off.
Just a simple one. It doesn't have to be nothing fancy, just your ideal day off.
So for me, my ideal day off will be waking up early. I will say 8 o'clock in the morning, going for a bike or a walk, doing a little sport activity, nothing too crazy. Then going for a nice breakfast. So let's say avocado toast, poached eggs, tomatoes and salmon, something like this.
Mm-hmm.
And then going for a hike, going for a walk along the water, and then just go home and chill. Like sit on a sofa, watch a movie, just something like this. Very, very relaxing. Not too much stress. Moving a little bit, just so I don't wake up at 2 o'clock in the afternoon and feel like I've wasted my whole day.
Yes.
And that's it. Yeah. That would be my ideal day.
Perfect, JC. Well, I just want to thank you. This is
No problem.
This is our first interview. I think it went very well. And yeah, I just want to thank you for being my first guest and for all that you've done. It's been a great journey. I've learned a little bit about you and your journey and your passion, and I can see that you love it.
Yeah.
And just like you, I love my industry. I love who we are, and seeing people like you that are just pushing it.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes we feel like, because, well, especially me, because we don't work in a Michelin restaurant or sometimes I feel like, oh, it makes no difference. But seeing people trying hard, even though we're just a random restaurant in Sydney, it's great. It's great, and as I told you, I see you going into a leadership position and inspire people in the kitchen and outside the kitchen. I can tell you that you inspire me as well to try hard and as a young professional to be better. So yeah, I really appreciate you, man.
Thank you very
coming
much.
on. This was great.
It's been a pleasure.
I'll have you on again for sure when I'm a little bit of a better interviewer.
No problem.
And I can really dig for your answers.
I hope I'll be a better guest and my English
No,
will be
no,
a bit
no.
better.
No, you were the best first guest, and I
Okay.
really appreciate it, JC. Thank you
Thank
so
you very
much for
much.
your time. Thank you, brother.
No problem.